Today's episode is brought to you by Kinda Funny on Spotify. Did you know that our shows are in video on Spotify? Now you do. Please go follow all of our shows, Kinda Funny Podcast, In Review, Games Daily, and GAMESCAST. It'll really help us out, and it's free.
Today, in the nerdy news you need to know about, part 2, breaking news. Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed. We'll have all this and somehow more, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, November 6th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. New York Game Awards nominated, a.k.a. Leftover Poppy Blessing, Eddie Oye Jr.
I got deja vu today, Greg.
It all seems very familiar,
I've
doesn't
been here
it?
before.
But rather than your normal Games Daily duo, we're joined by Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. the second best baby blues in San Francisco, a.k.a. the expectant father, at Tim Geddes.
Every time you say that, it reminds me.
You can't get away from that. You can't push that out of your head. Gentlemen, welcome back to Kinda Funny Games Daily. Blessing, you are supposed to be streaming Hyrule Warriors right now.
I know, darn. Oh no, I can't play at home. I was looking forward to that.
Instead, you are back for a special breaking news edition of Kinda Funny Games Daily because Grand Theft Auto 6 has officially been delayed. We'll have all that and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about live. Twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames, YouTube.com/KindaFunnyGames, podcast services around the globe. If you like that, pick up a Kinda Funny membership, patreon.com/KindaFunny, youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, Apple or Spotify to get all of our shows ad-free. Of course, get your daily dose of me in a series we call Gregway and support an 11-person small business doing the frickin' journalism, news, breaking, whatever happens. Also doing whatever we just did on In Review, because that was different. That was a fugue state. I don't even know what happened out there.
That was great.
Of course, remember, you can be part of this as so many people are right now. Super Chat, youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. Benny B. Good says, looks like love really is a long road. I want to know, do you care about the delay? Is November a good date? What else is going to get delayed? What's going to move into the old slot? Do you think GTA actually comes out next year? What do you believe? Super Chat on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. Use it as your therapy session. All right, this is a group therapy session about GTA 6. Of course, Housekeeping. We're an 11-person small business all about live talk shows. You already got Kinda Funny Games Daily Part 1 about PlayStation's PC cross-buy strategy that we're just making up. Then, of course, there was a GAMESCAST that was a conversation about Hyrule Warriors and what's next for Zelda. And then Predator Badlands In Review just happened. AVPPP. If you're a Kinda Funny member, today's Gregway is 19 minutes about how cool and talented Alanah Pearce is. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney the Psalm Twining. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some more news. 2 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
We turn our eyes to the one, the only, the Schreier guy, Jason Schreier at Bloomberg, who reports breaking Grand Theft Auto 6 is postponed again to November 2026. Take-Two Interactive Software Incorporated delayed the release of Grand Theft Auto 6 again, pushing back the much-anticipated video game by 6 months to November 2026. In a statement Thursday that accompanied the quarterly results, Take-Two said it's giving the Rockstar Games, quote, team some additional time to finish the game with the high level of polish players expect and deserve, end quote. The delay to November 19th of next year means costs to complete the game continue to mount. It's the second public delay for Grand Theft Auto 6, which was originally slated to release in fall 2025 before it was pushed to May of next year, that being 2026. In the official the official statement, that's what I was looking for, from Rockstar reads like this. Hi, everyone. They're doing the bless thing. Grand Theft Auto 6 will now release on Thursday, November 19th, 2026. We are sorry for adding additional time to what we realize has been a long wait. But these extra months will allow us to finish the game with the level of polish you have come to expect and deserve. We want to thank you again for your patience and support. While the wait is a little longer, we are incredibly excited for players to experience the sprawling state of Ladonia and a return to modern-day Vice City. Sincerely, Rockstar Games. I feel like just getting everything out there on the table, all right? So a few more headlines for you. Take-Two CEO is highly confident on the new GTA 6 release date, but says when games are released too early, bad things happen. This is Reb Valentine over at IGN.com. GTA 6 is delayed again, this time to November 19th, 2026, marking the game's third delay since it got its first release window. But publisher Take-Two's CEO, Strauss Zelnick, is quote-unquote highly confident that this is the last time. Speaking to IGN on a call ahead of the announcement, Zelnick reiterated the company's statement that the delay was simply for Rockstar to have time to polish the game. Quote, "We wanted to give Rockstar the appropriate amount of time to polish the title and make sure it can be the very best it can be," he said. Previously, Grand Theft Auto 6 was announced for fall 2025's release, which CEO Strauss Zelnick told me he felt confident in, even as rumors swirled of a delay. The game was later delayed to May of 2026, with Take-Two and Rockstar similarly citing a need for polish. So I asked Zelnick again, how confident do you feel in this new date? Do you think there's any chance we're looking at GTA 6 in 2027? Quote, "I'm highly confident," he replied. And at the same time, there have been limited circumstances where more time was required to polish a title and make sure that it was spectacular, and that time has been well spent. When our competitors go to market before something was ready, bad things happen. That said, I'm highly confident on the new date. Of course, this is all Wall Street needed to hear to make sure. Nope. As GTA 6 is delayed again by half a year to November 2026, Take-Two stock immediately begins to drop. This is Dom Pepiet over at Eurogamer. As a result of this news, we're already seeing Take-Two stock plummet. The story broke at 9 p.m. UK time, but as of 9:35 p.m., stock has dropped by a massive 8%. In real terms, that means Take-Two stock is down about $30.
Hey, now's the best time to get in, buy some Take-Two stock.
Hit the button! No, don't do it. Barrett's running over. You don't have to hit the money. Trust me, a lot of people lost a lot of money on Ubisoft when I said all of this. Then just for the lulz, I tossed in Matt Piscatella over on BS. That's a Blue Sky, Tim said. While the GTA 6 will be the last Grand Theft Auto release I'll likely be alive to see. I mean, hopefully I'll make it to 6, but you never know.
Yeah.
Blessing.
Wowzers.
Timothy, here we are. Oh, it's to be expected. I don't read IGN that much anymore, but when I do, I see the same names. They got this new hack over at IGN named Jared Petty, who's got an article up right now like, well, all the other GTAs have been delayed. You should have expected this. Go fuck yourself.
Have you read
Petty.
this article?
No.
So
I started going through it.
It's funny because this article's from May 2026.
What a
they
hack.
now have a thing where they recycle this article whenever GTA gets delayed, which is genius.
I love that. Timothy,
Yeah.
I got to walk in the room. You were in a meeting with Barrett. You were like in the little pod. You didn't know what was happening. Your face was amazing. We should have
Broke the
recorded
news.
it.
Yeah. No.
How are
that,
you feeling right now? What did you think when you heard this?
I mean, not at all surprised, not at all shocked. It was more just shocked to get the news on a random Thursday in the middle of the day, right? Like, why? Why now? But this not only doesn't surprise me, I also am not really concerned at all about it. I feel like this was very, very, very expected. I think November is a better date for Grand Theft Auto 6. I think there's a lot of factors going into this where if this surprises anybody, I don't think they've been paying attention. Having said that, GTA 6 is such a nebulous thing of if it hit May, I also wouldn't have been surprised. If it gets delayed to 2027, I also won't be surprised. These stock numbers dropping, all of that makes sense. But guess what? This game is going to succeed. The game is going to come out when it's ready, and it's going to hit hard. Take the time you need. I'm not concerned about this.
Blessing, are you concerned?
Oh, no, I'm not concerned about it. It's the quote we always quote all the time from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. A game that comes out early usually is a bad game, but if you delay a game, then jabroni, it's going to come out and it's going to be great. Delay the game for however long you want. Delay it as many times you want. I think it sucks for the anticipation of it, and maybe it might suck for and I don't even say that. I kind of want to say it might suck for the advertising and marketing rollout of it, but I don't even think that's true, right?
Yeah.
It's to what Tim said. The game is going to sell astronomical numbers no matter what. It's Grand Theft Auto, and so they could put this game out December 31st, and it's going to do amazing. I think there's ripple effects as far as the rest of the industry and how it reacts and responds around that.
How
that
many have run, you know what I mean, ran from May and talked about it, where nobody wanted to talk this year until GTA 6 was confirmed not to be this year.
Well, and this is a conversation we can save until maybe later in the show, but is November 19th the perfect date for every other game to not have to come after it, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we can release in January. We can release in February. Oh, or
November 8th.
yeah, we have like so much time before GTA now in the fall. And, you know, I think you can come out at least a few weeks before GTA and still be somewhat fine as far as being able to have that time and space to get those initial week sales. And that'll be a whole other thing to talk about. But regarding GTA 6, it's totally fine.
Demon Hacker does write in with a super chat, just like you can on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. It says, does anybody else have a bad feeling about this game? And I know it's GTA. It's GTA 6. You almost want to throw out there too big to fail. It's a Rockstar. They're putting all this money, all this time, yada, yada, yada. It's an interesting question. GTAs are usually such a biting satire on the times we live in. And everything we've seen from GTA 6 in these trailers looks awesome, taking down Florida Man, whatever, you know what I mean? But it's, at what point are the satire and the references they're making, don't get me wrong, they're not on the nose like they're trying to be like a Borderlands TikTok reference or something, but are they worried about it moving? I remember in the build-up in that dead space between 2013 and Grand Theft Auto 5 and I guess now 2026 in GTA 6, I remember when Dan Houser was still at the company being quoted in an interview during the Trump's first presidency of being like, it would be impossible to put out a GTA right now because the world's already so it's as crazy as the games are. And as everything continues to change, it feels like left and right, and the completely insane becomes the complete normal day-to-day around here. I wonder how much of these games get shifted there and how much of the focus could be and what if that actually ends up affecting it at all.
I don't think so. I think that's all very valid points. I think that does affect the potential critical reception to this game. I almost don't think that matters, though. Like, I think that Grand Theft Auto is so many different things, and it's the biggest entertainment property or the biggest video game, like all of this stuff, because of the gameplay and because everybody loves something different about it. But at the end of the day, like, sure, if the story's not good, it's an exaggeration to say who cares, but if it's serviceable, that's really all it needs to be. If it's amazing, that's great, but it's jacking cars and running people over and shooting things and, you know, the fun, just random stuff you could do, the little details. Like, again, I can go on and on and on and on about all the different things that Grand Theft Auto is. The story and characters is just one part that I think at the end of the day is the part that means the least to the most amount of people.
I agree with that. I feel like story for GTA, as far as the audience reception of it, is lower on the totem pole for how much they might still will gravitate to GTA. When I think of GTA stories that hit, or at least GTA stories that people talk about, I think of fewer of the games than more of the games, right? I think of GTA 4 and how much people talk about that story is hitting for them, right? Or GTA Vice City, I guess. Even GTA 5, which I like the story of GTA 5. I hear so many people complain about the story of GTA 5, though, right? And how, it's too on the nose, or it's too much like it's too much of the Rockstar nihilism / satire, and, you know, maybe the writing wasn't as sharp as they wanted to be. I think when I think of Rockstar and writing, I think of Red Dead. And for me, it's the opposite thing, where coming off of Red Dead Redemption 2 and hearing how much people revere the story of Red Dead Redemption 2, I wonder how much of that would then in turn influence how much effort they want to put into the writing of GTA 6. And I think on top of that as well, to the satire portion of it, I mean, I think I know there's the Trump quote, right? But I think of it as the opposite way of, like, there's so much to make fun of now. There's so much that you can dunk on. And there's also so much there's so much that has changed, but changed in the last decade, but changed in the way of it's more exaggerated, where, like, in the last 10 years, Trump has been president, right, twice.
Yeah.
And so, like, we're talking about since 2016 of relevancy for what that is. If they've been working on the writing and the story and stuff on this game for a very long time, it's probably still going to be somewhat on the nose.
Sure.
And we're also talking about a game that is, I think, doing a lot to make fun of Florida and the Florida Man and all this shit, right? And it's funny because maybe in my ecosystem, in my online algorithm, I don't see much about, like, Florida jokes. I don't see the Florida Man stuff. I don't see people eating people's faces. Like, the Florida memes.
So old, yeah.
The Florida memes aren't in vogue, at least in my timeline anymore, but they're leaning into it, and I'm sure they're going to probably do the best they can with that stuff, even with it being out of vogue, because I think they do a really good job of capturing a moment in time.
Raphael has the big question. Guys, I'm getting married on November 21st, 2026. What do I do? Do I postpone my wedding? I'm rattled.
Roger asked the exact same question.
Yeah, what's Roger's wedding date? Or is he close to it, he said?
He said it's like 5 days after this.
I'll tell you right now, Raphael, get out.
Cancel it.
You know what I mean? Move it out.
Not going to work.
You know what I mean? Tim, I mean, I would feel like if you were in a different situation and you knew your baby was going to be around here, you would just
delay the baby.
Delay the baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Here's Roger.
We're thinking about the 14th. So that's
Okay.
what's tough. It's just like, review copies. We don't know what that's going to go on, but we're still thinking it's probably going to be that date. But I don't know if you guys feel strongly about it.
Why don't you take their old date? Take their old date. Take the May date.
What's that?
Take the old date. Take the GTA May date.
250 person minimum at that point. So that changes things. Yeah.
It's easy. We get you do. We'll fill it with best friends if you can't. If people can't come or whatever.
What was the question?
Yeah, I forget what we
If
were
he should
talking
move
about.
his wedding. We were
Oh,
fucking around talking about that. You know what I mean?
No, but let's talk about the date a little bit more here. Like, I do think that this is the perfect date for this game. Like, this really, to Blessing's point, like, I think it's the perfect date for the industry. Like, this is far enough out now that people's plans can either stay for what they had planned with the May 26th date or change, given a little bit more wiggle room. But I think this gives so many prime spots as an option to game developers, big, small, everything in between. And that holiday rush just feels right for Grand Theft Auto. And Grand Theft Auto, we've seen released a bunch of different times through its iterations. But I think that kind of having that end of November, like right in, you're what, 2 weeks, 1 week before Black Friday, right?
Yep.
And you have, the holidays and all that stuff. But with the way people buy consoles, the amount of people that are going to upgrade to a PlayStation 5 for the first time for Grand Theft Auto 6, like, it's going to be insane. Perfect timing for that.
Yeah, it's interesting to me on the other side of it. I mean, people writing in, like Tavin. I've seen a few super chats like this, but Tavin's the one I'm pulling. There's a world where it doesn't even come out next year now. But what does Wolverine do? Early October, I would guess. Time to play it, get out of the way. I think you're going to see a lot of stuff like that. But I also saw somebody saying, oh, man, November for GTA 6 and Pokemon Gen 10 out there. Like, it's like, you say all that, but we just got a Pokemon in October, right? Even if we were talking about Call of Duty's next Friday, right? I'm talking about this year, next Friday of next year. So it's like, as you look at November 19th, it almost is exactly what you're saying, Tim. It's perfect of like, let's get beyond all the other games and everybody else that would get in the way. Because even right now, you throw open Game Informer's catalog, and granted, next year is next year. We're still not there. We haven't turned that corner. But as you look, right, it's like there's a whole bunch of dates all the way through March. Then there's one in April. Then there's one in September. Like, clearly people were getting away from GTA when it was in May. I feel like. You know what I mean?
Call of Duty, I feel like, is the only one where if the plan is for the next Call of Duty is to release in mid-November, you might need to move that up by a month.
What's really interesting, though, is there are a handful of heavy hitter games that I think that November is a safe, at least, conversation starter of potentially launching. Greg, of course, bringing up Pokemon Gen 10. I think that, yes, that is a November title, and I think that by the end of February, we will know that. You look at Wolverine, that probably, at least
September,
in someone's mind, could have been in November over at PlayStation. Yeah, September, October, November. I think it's one of those three, right? But I think the crazier thing to think about is Xbox. They have so many of their big games. Like, we're at a point with Xbox right now that Halo campaign involved. From everything we've heard, we know it's next year. It doesn't seem like it's going to be early. November 15th is the 25th anniversary of Xbox. So that's days before. And you imagine they'd want, that is just on paper the most likely date for that to happen. But Forza Horizon going to Japan, right?
Typically in November title.
Typically in November. Fable. If that comes out next year, we kind of expect that it will.
Better.
November is a potential date. Gears of War E-Day. That feels like a November title. I know they're not going to put them all in November, but
as you jump to Xbox boardroom and they're laying everything out, I would assume, be right there with you. Oh man, thank goodness GTA is May. That gives us more than half a year to play with it.
Yeah, Forza is the one where I could see Forza getting delayed into the next year.
No!
Yeah, and I mean, granted, and that's off of just the knowledge of usually, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but yeah, usually you're getting Forza Horizons in November. I don't think you put out another driving game of that magnitude in the same month as GTA.
No, I would just hope you maybe push it up.
Yeah, but is it going to be ready? Like, I think that's the bigger thing is how early can you get?
It's just
It's a car.
make it go vroom vroom.
It's
I want to drive it
Forza
around.
Horizon.
I know it. I love Forza Horizon. I'm very excited.
What was the
for
game
Japan.
that I said earlier today that would only cost $10 to make? Forza Horizon is the opposite of that. That's money. That's expensive.
Just a quick Google search. Forza Horizon 5 was November 1st. 4 was October. 3 was September.
Oh, okay.
So there,
Okay.
there isn't like a
Just the fall.
consistent, but it's just that second half. So there is room around, and I could imagine Tim making the great point of Halo campaign evolved. I feel like that would probably be the big November thing, and Forza maybe like September.
Good job, Chad. Yeah, Crash Team Racing. too.
Crash Team Racing was the one I was like, it costs $10 to make. Just make it. That was a joke. You got to listen to that last KFGD.
Yeah. Thank you for this. It is interesting, right? Because that September is very different than October and November.
Yeah.
One of them has Halloween.
You know what I mean?
One of them has
But it's like,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, just the amount of major titles that are, again, expected in that time frame. It's going to be a delicate dance because I don't think that you can just push Forza up or Wolverine up or whatever. It's like,
Of course not.
Yeah.
No. You're way more likely if these teams are internally targeting November thing, you have a conversation with them, but no, it's incredibly hard to push things forward. You're always at risk of a delay. So if you're there, you're pushing it back, you're delaying.
And we're not even talking about Nintendo. We're talking about Pokemon here, but we know Nintendo's going to have some major titles in holiday 2026, right? Which of these is affected by GTA 6? I think that they're not all equal, right? But yeah, bringing up Call of Duty, another thing Microsoft has to contend with and deal with as a publisher among all the rest of their titles. Like some of those can easily get pushed to 2027, and I don't think that would be
Call of Duty?
no, just like the
just
Fable,
Microsoft. Okay,
Gears,
gotcha,
and all of those. Like they have, I think at this point, the luxury to do that just because of how many games that they are in charge of and the Game Pass factor and all of that. But man. Wild. And also thinking about this year, December, huge year for video games, or huge month for video games, and so many
Metroid,
indies and
Marvel.
Metroid, and like exactly like a lot of stuff has a December date. I think more than usual in these types of situations over the last couple of years. And what does that mean for next year? Is there just going to be no games coming in December? Probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, that's gonna be such a great December. Just
Catch up.
playing GTA 6.
Backlog,
No,
GTA.
Fuck the catch up. I'm just playing GTA 6, baby.
We have one from Nova Phoenix that's an interesting take on. We're talking about all these delays, right? And where you move things around. Nova Phoenix says, out of Soros, 007 First Light and Crimson Desert, who do you think now jumps from March to May? Of course, there are a lot of March confirmed things here, and I do
Crimson
think
Desert.
1,000%.
Crimson Desert. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say 007 as well, just because from the big breakdown trailer we got like a month ago, like that game looks great and really cool, but like in terms of like technical stuff, there's a lot of like frame drops. So I wonder
I hear
if
you.
they-
I still think Crimson Desert is just such a gigantic bite.
I mean, I
Such
think
a
both.
gigantic bite of an apple.
Yeah.
And I would don't get me wrong. I think it gets delayed, probably not out of next year.
Crimson Desert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, all the
that's
way
such
out of
a-
next
I think it's a gigantic game, and I think they're gonna do this whole thing of like Crimson Desert is a game that does everything. You want to fucking fly, you want to grab this beam and hit this guy, you want to have weird warfare with trebuchets, great. I think there's so much going on there that they're gonna need more time and then more time, and suddenly you're like, all right, well, we're on the doorstep of GTA, if not on the other side of it. And this is not a game that can share oxygen. This is a game that needs to launch and be able to breathe for it to deliver on what it's promising.
Yeah, and again, it's not just the Oxygen GTA 6, or all the games we just talked about. You also need to contend with those. So the closer you start to get to fall, it's like there's just too many titans. But I think Soros is a March game, and it feels like a March game.
I heard it was in Rahul's contract that it had to be March.
That seems like the right time to put that out. So I don't see that movie, and I also feel like Housemarque, it feels like they have their shit together, and it's like if they are calling the shot there, it's going to maintain. But yeah, 007 and Crimson Desert. I see both of those.
See, I think it's gonna be an avalanche. I haven't pulled up the calendar or anything, but I think we're gonna see a lot of those games that were announced for the first 3 months of the year kind of domino out and maybe spread out amongst the spring.
Okay, let's run through it then. I'll give you some top level ones, all right? Looking at January, the ones that are going to jump off the page at me. Nobody knows quiet. I mean, there's stuff in here, but Animal Crossing New Horizons update isn't going to move, right? Legend of Heroes, nobody's worried about. Dynasty Warriors Origin, I don't think we're worried about. I think it's interesting in February. We can look down here, right? Deus Ex Remastered. All right, that game looks like trash. Take all the time you need. Get out of there. Dragon Quest Reimagined. Get out of here. You'd be fine with that one. Resident Evil, you got a whole bunch of them dropping, right? Resident Evil Requiem, obviously, right there as well. Yeah. I don't think you move that, right? Yeah, you're going to be locked into that as you go on and do your deal. Neo 3. Then, you get to that March section where we're talking about Crimson Desert, Sorrows, 007. September.
I guess those are the real big. I think maybe Mouse PI for Hire. Like, I know that's indie, but like when we saw that presentation that they did on it at ID at Xbox, that seems like a bigger title for a small indie team. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, we got to get out in March because we don't want to hit May. If they have the time to polish, I could see them taking it.
I think they're going to stick. I think the fact that they had such a deep dive, I would hope that Mouse PI is locked. That they know what they're doing. They're on there and they're just polishing to some degree.
Yeah, I don't think that there's enough games with release dates of big games of consequence that are going to need to move. But the ones you named, I think those are it. And then also Nintendo, we do know a bunch of spring games without dates. Mario Wonder, Switch 2 edition, the Yoshi 2D platformer, like those things. I don't see them moving.
That FromSoft game.
There's no date for that though.
Yeah.
Like, right? We don't know anything about that.
Duskblood.
Dustbloods. Thank you.
Chat from the chat from the live chat that's free. Inkadu says whoever drafts GTA 6 for next year's fantasy is rolling the dice again.
Yeah,
that's fun.
It's an interesting.
Really
whoever gets penciled in to have to do that on your first pick.
It's gonna be Mike.
It's gonna be Mike again. Yeah,
I had to do it.
Tundra Boy super chats and says, "What does this mean for GTA 6 online? Same day? Absolutely not.
Still don't think so.
You think it's the same day?
You're this far out? Because I don't think...
It's GTA. It's Rockstar. They make their own rules, their own thing, and I definitely think they want that double dip. We drop GTA 6, fucking finally pay $70, $80, $100.
But like, when do you drop online then? January?
Yeah. Maybe even a month later. I don't even know.
In December 25th? Like, I think the November
Christmas.
19th date is so awkward for that. And when was I know with GTA 5, I think it was about 2 weeks between those two things. Red Dead Redemption 2 chat, unless you guys remember, like, what was the distance between the single player and online there?
it was like 2 or 3 weeks.
It wasn't
but
terrible.
2 or 3
Yeah.
weeks. I think they're going to want to stick with that. I think online is such a priority for them. Like, that's almost a bigger launch than even the single player, just in terms of paving the road that they're going to be able to lay for the next maybe decade of what this looks like. I think you're going to want to launch that at prime time. But I guess launching both at the same time too is just fucking tough.
I think that is a impossible thing to balance. Like I don't think you can put them out on the same day.
Not to mention, I think you want all those headlines and you want people jonesing for it and talking about it. And then, whatever the numbers are, you figure whatever happens with GTA 6 on day one, it's the biggest entertainment launch of all time. New York Times is writing about it. It's on your TV. It's all these things. And then for more of the gaming enthusiast, whatever, you get a pop again when it's online day and everything's all about that. We got another super chat in here. Starkilla says, does this mean we get the PC version at launch? Not a chance. No, that's wishful thinking. You're not going to get, again, that's a triple dip. Let's do it here. Fulfill our promises, I'm sure, to the console makers on whatever exclusive we have with whoever we have it with.
Yeah.
And then, put the PC version out way later, make way more money off of that.
And again, this is going to be a literal system seller, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like the marketing agreements they have are probably very much in play with PC being a delayed release.
There was one I'm trying to get back to that I like.
While you do that, just another point is, Greggy, like them wanting that kind of like first day launch, all these places writing about it being like this huge success, like with their troubled launches of online of PC, like they don't want to have that stuff on launch day. Like that's probably another wrinkle of what they're thinking in terms of launching online later, launching PC later.
I think it's tough for me to imagine the online then launching like 2 months later, unless we're talking about mid-December. Like, I think as far as for the audience, like let's say December 19th would be fun. That'd be ideal. It's break. Everybody can hop online and all that stuff. But like, you then have to have people in office working on that and making sure that
Rockstar notoriously great to their employees.
Exactly. But yeah, that balance is just tough when you're launching on November 19th. I don't know what that looks like.
Speaking of all the notoriousness, Dark Ree writes in with a super chat and says, did they announce this sooner than planned in order to distract from the union busting news? If you haven't been listening to Kind of Funny Games Daily this week, we've had 2 different stories about Rockstar and firing 30 to 40 people. That just so happened to be 30 to 40 people that were talking about unionizing. But we swear it was because they were leaking information to someone on a platform that isn't in the company. To which the lawyers say, they were all in the group with one person who's a union organizer. Like, hey, you see where that's going. I don't think they released this at all to do anything with that. It would be very convenient if it wasn't Rockstar, the biggest thing. This gets so much more new eyes than that ever did, sadly. Yeah.
The question I have, I saw someone in the chat say this, but what was the source of this originally? Because someone in the chat saying that this was from a end of quarter financial report.
Yes, it's Jason Schreier who said that at Bloomberg.
Yeah. Okay. So then,
this accompanied quarterly results.
Okay.
This is
exactly.
not.
So that's why.
Yeah.
I think the chatter knew that the super chat. They were saying that they announced this earlier. Did they maybe want to do this at a different quarter, but they moved it up here? I don't. I don't buy that.
So.
I don't think it's.
No. When you look
union
at the
busting news is making enough juice that they had to worry about.
Yeah, this is news that matters to tens of millions of people.
We have breaking news.
Oh no,
We have breaking news, everybody. Actually, I can say this. Fuck it.
I see it. Yeah.
Snowbike Mike Slacks letting us know. Jeff Keighley just saw me, and he said, Snowbike Mike, my best friend, how are you feeling? I got him, people. Congratulations, Mike.
Mike capitalized people, so we got that going for us. Yeah. I'm glad we got that in this episode.
When you think about the tens of millions of people that are going to buy GTA and that hear this news and they're like, oh man, like it's maybe hundreds of thousands of people that even knew that news existed, or maybe 100,000 people, right? Like we're talking about the audience that pays attention to video game news, people that watch and listen to the show, that might watch and listen to Skill Up or whoever is their news source. But most of the people that would hear this news and be like, damn, now I'm being distracted by this thing. They don't know about the union busting shit.
If this was such a huge thing that they wanted to distract people away from, they would have dropped a trailer instead. Delaying it, I don't think is like a.
They would put a demo.
Yeah, or something.
Something fucking insane. I mean, that would be like Strauss Zelnick killed someone. I'm going to bury that story. Kyle LaBeouf super chats and says, Rockstar's pulling a Microsoft. They keep stepping on those rakes in the name of gaming journalism. I disagree. We all want GTA 6.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop the momentum of GTA 6. This is classic fucking tantric sex, all right? They are just this foreplay is going to be going on for a decade plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
wow.
In a lot of ways,
Classic.
I see this as part of the plan almost. Like you put the dates and stuff. It's the stockholder game. It's you're trying to get people excited, get the money and all that stuff. It's like, but again, we all saw this coming, at least to the point of like, yeah, it could happen.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, nobody thought this was impossible.
Yeah, so
And
I
we're
feel
so
like,
confident to put that date on it, though.
yeah. I mean, but again, the date. Why they do that? It's for stockholders, and it's like,
Sure.
that's kind of shitty, whatever. But that's just the way.
The name of the game.
right?
Yeah. Louise becomes a member for 19 months and uses his super chat to say we got a Snowbike Mike and Jeff Keighley friendship before GTA 6.
When did we originally think this game was coming out? Didn't they say it was coming out last year?
Was it
2024?
2025, I think, was the first year.
First year they put on it? Okay.
Okay, never mind then.
Shark,
still crazy.
Shark 89 says, when do we get another trailer? I had somewhere around Game Awards with the May date, but with the move. Next trailer around SGF? Again, you're Rockstar. You can do whatever the fuck you want, whenever you want. Which is
I think it'll be like March.
okay.
Yeah, I can see that. That sounds about right.
Patient, a lot of jokes in the super chats. I appreciate them. We're not going to get to all of them, all right? But I appreciate you trying to get in here. This one I like. CK says, this is getting a delay, but you know what's not? Startling Tales of Santa Claus from Image Comics, co-created by yours truly. Get it at your local comic shop, December 3rd.
Good.
I will get that just for you, CK. Thank you very much for putting in there. There's so many super chats. Let me sort through them while you hear about our sponsors. Remember, everybody, we couldn't do this without your support. Pick up a Kinda Funny membership. Patreon.com/kindafunny. YouTube.com/kindafunnygames. Apple, Spotify. Get every show ad free. Get your daily dose of me in a 15 to 20 minute podcast I do each and every day from my car. And of course, get good karma for supporting an 11-person small business all about live talk shows. For now, though, here's a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by a absolutely amazing and free way that you can support Kind of Funny. Very often, y'all ask, what's the best way to support Kind of Funny? Not with money, but with our love and our support. And right now, the best way you can do that is by supporting us on Spotify. We've been getting a lot of really good energy, good juice going with the support we've been getting on Spotify, and Spotify are starting to notice. So if y'all could do me a favor, even if you don't normally listen to us on Spotify, it would go such a long way if you can go to the pages for the Kind of Funny podcast, Kind of Funny Games Daily, Kind of Funny Gamescast, and Kind of Funny in Review, and follow them on Spotify. Go rate them as high as you want to rate them, as accurately as you want to. But if I'm being real, I'd really prefer if you just did as high as you're willing to go. It would go such a long way for us. We have video on Spotify now, and that's an amazing opportunity for Kind of Funny to get in front of an entire new audience. YouTube, been there, done that. We, are kind of where we're probably going to be forever. But on Spotify, the potential is limitless, and that is all up to you and your support. So thank you very much wherever you listen to us, wherever you watch us, wherever you put your hard-earned dollars. We really, really appreciate you. But we always want to be here for you, whether it's free or not. We love you. Thank you so much.
Special K90 super chatted with their membership for 17 months while we were away. My hope is that this means the PC version launches in November as well. However, doubtful. Probably have to wait until stop hoping for that. You are just setting yourself up for disappointment. At this point, don't even expect GTA 6 next year. we don't know. Oh.
Wait,
Tim said he got a sandwich, but I didn't know.
Oh, little Ike's.
Oh, which one did you get? Menage a trois?
Podcast didn't account for my lunch.
Yeah.
You know what? Same. I just decided to starve through it.
What's your go-to,
Like a
Jimmy?
man.
What do you got there?
I don't have a good. This is the Matt Cain. It was the most popular one.
Yeah.
So I just got it. I haven't found. I love all the Ike sandwiches, so I'm just gonna keep trying them.
Have you tried sourdough and co? I had it for the first time the other day.
Yeah.
It hit pretty well.
Okay.
There's one in the area. So.
Demon Hacker comes in and says they don't force online out for those day one micros. Absolutely not. They will get those day one micros out of everyone when they drop GTA Online. You got to let people breathe. This game is going to be purchased. They want it to be a dominant form of conversation, and I don't think they want to split that narrative. I think they do want it to be cinema. Oh my God, no one does it like Rockstar. Look at the detail on these fucking asses as they walk around. Look at the story we're doing. Look at this.
When do we get online?
I think they stick to what they've done before, and I would say it was November 19th. I do think you get it mid-December, before Christmas.
I would not be surprised. I think that is likely, but I also think another likely option is there would be a bigger gap than we've seen before from them, and they do treat it differently. I still think that there is a chance that Grand Theft Auto 6 is just the single player stuff and they sell it at whatever price they do. And then when online comes out, it's free to play. And it is very much set to make money in a very different way.
Yeah.
Or it's not free to play, but it's a separate thing you have to buy.
Yeah. Let's bring this question in because it's about online.
Yeah.
Matt Sanders super chats and says, you think they're just working on the online bit? The single player is finished. I mean, it's been a decade.
I mean, for me, I look at it in the same way that they talked about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I know Rockstar is a very different company, but they have a lot of polish when it comes to what they put out. And I'm not surprised with the reasoning of, hey, no, we're taking the time to polish because you only get one shot to launch a GTA at this point once every decade. And so I think they're going to want to launch this thing in a condition where it is undeniably good.
But it's crazy, and I know this is very different, but GTA Definitive Trilogy was a disaster.
Yes.
And I can't believe that they put out, and I know it's not the same team, whatever, but at the end of the day, it is the same group. They put out a GTA product that was bad. Kind of crazy.
They polished it though. After time.
They got exactly.
Yeah.
Greg, earlier you brought up is this too big to fail? And it's like I actually think it is too big to fail because even if it fails, it's still a success. Like you think about Cyberpunk being, I think, the biggest example of a failure in video games that we've ever seen. Like we can bring up Anthem as another. Like I'm sure there are a handful of games we can bring up that are like, wow, disaster. But Cyberpunk being CD Projekt Red, one of the biggest devs out there, following up major successes critically and sales wise, Cyberpunk was like, Cyberpunk is definitely top 5, maybe top 3 most hyped important games of all time. budget, and no matter what metric you're looking at, like expectations, all of that stuff, and they shit the bed. They fucked it up. And now here we are a couple years later, and that's an irrelevant conversation almost. And I feel like GTA 6 is that times 10.
I want to bring in this one, okay? Cody says, 8 years since Red Dead Redemption 2, biggest studio in the world can barely put out one game in a decade. Again, I feel like you're misreading the tea leaves on that. I think it's that these games are so successful and so critically acclaimed and so gonzo with the consumer that they just don't ever need to push it. This is like so in another... When you're talking about the league that Rockstar is in terms of, hey man, take all the time you want, we're talking about them. We're talking about Valve. You know what I mean? We're talking about Naughty Dog, and I know Naughty Dog you might not think it, but I mean, like,
definitely.
Hey, Factions isn't working. We're not putting it out, and PlayStation has to be like, cool, like, okay, cool, yeah, you're right. Don't fuck up the entire franchise,
And then the
right?
key Nintendo teams.
Yeah, of course.
Mario team, the Zelda team.
Yeah, you're also talking
pretty
about
much only them.
I think you're also just talking about video game development in general. Think about how much longer development times have gotten as the generations have gone. Like, look at your favorite AAA studio and think about how long it took them to release their last game, right? Like, how long was Zelda Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom? That was 2017 to 2022, right? I think three. So what, we're talking about 6-7 years? Like, you talk about 6-7. So you look at God of War 2018 to I'm sorry, Bear. God of War Ragnarok, right? And like how long that takes. Look at how long it's been since Last of Us 2, and Naughty Dog still hasn't put out their next big AAA video game. That's just what video games are. And so when you take that principle and apply it to Rockstar, a company that is putting out the most AAA games, yeah, it's going to take them a very long time.
The prettier games look, the more detailed they get, the more time that needs to be put into making that all actually look good and perform well. I think it's a combination or an in-between of that, but then also, we got that article, what Greg was saying of Silksong development, right? Where it was just like, they had enough money to just kind of keep going and keep developing until they were satisfied with it. So I think it being such a big entity like Rockstar, I think it's probably true on both sides.
Yeah.
I want to bring in this question from Aaron Lime. It's a super chat, and it's honestly just a comment more than a question. Well, no, it's a question. There's no question mark. I think we might get more into it as a broad topic on Games Daily tomorrow, because there is still a show tomorrow. But the question here that I've seen going through the chat a few times is, does Mafia beating expectations, Borderlands 4 not hitting goals, and GTA 6 getting delayed again, not paint a painting for these executives about scope? Again, this is all. I was playing a video game for a review. You were doing something else. You were in a meeting. On top of this is the quarterly earnings they're talking about. So there's more than just the GTA delay. I have seen in the chat and super chats, Mafia has beat expectations. I have not seen the Borderlands 4 thing. So we don't have specifics about that. But it's interesting to see that coming out and then come to this question then about scope. Again, I don't think GTA 6 really can go to this conversation until GTA 6 launches, and then we hear the financials for the next quarter, the quarter after that, and the year over year. That's really where it's going to come in of like, did this 10-year plus gap between GTA 5 and GTA 6 work out? And the answer is going to be yes, because GTA Online, we always forget, GTA Online is generating money right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Remember how it was, and I haven't looked at it in this lens in a while, but there was those crazy month after month NPD, now Circana numbers where it was like GTA Online is not, or GTA 5 is not only still in the top 10, it's gone up back up to 3 or 4 because they put out a shark card promotion with this. So people bought the game again to get the card to do. It's like fucking crazy how much money that made.
Yeah. And they know those strategies and they will do them again for Grand Theft Auto 6. And it'll be a new experience being created with the knowledge of GTA Online being the success that it is. It's going to be a different thing, and it's going to work. Even if it doesn't work right, it's going to work in the sense of selling and work in the sense of, again, like the too big to fail. I think that there's no world where people are over Grand Theft Auto because of how long it's been and because of how long it's going to be till the next game, if there even is a next game.
Matt Piscatella might be dead.
He might be dead.
Jason Schreier on BS, that's Blue Sky Tim, does say, reporting earnings today. Take-Two Interactive says NBA 2K26 broke revenue records, and Mafia the Old Country beat internal expectations. But the new Borderlands, quote, we are confident that Borderlands 4 will achieve strong unit sales over its lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah, that's...
And we're attributing that to scope? I feel like that's...
That's what Aaron Lime is talking about. The fact that, hey, Mafia is a linear experience again. It's not this open world bloat. We came down, we're telling you the story and going that way. I think there's a lot Aaron Lime is tossing in there. And I don't think it's painting a picture for executives about scope. I think it's a lot of different parts there. A lot of different things.
And also, I mean, what the fact there is, which is it exceeded expectations, which hopefully implies that they had realistic expectations for what a smaller scope game is going to do. But
they had quite the expectations for Borderlands. You would assume, right? Yeah.
And imagine what their expectations are for GTA 6.
And let's bring in Matt Piscatella from Circana Group with a serious tweet. Friendly reminder that a game meeting or beating expectations does not necessarily mean it sold better or worse than other games. Internal financial expectations and comparative performance between titles are different things.
Totally.
I'm sure GTA 6 would beat Mafia expectations as well.
I think it will too.
Yeah. Humbly.
I wonder what their expectations were, though, for Mafia: The Old Country,
10 copies.
I mean, I truly think that GTA 6 will beat whatever expectations they put on it. Like,
see, that's actually an interesting conversation to have. Because that's what I'd be fascinated to see. What are their actual expectations for GTA 6? Because to our point earlier about like GTA 6 is too big to fail, I think it's too big to fail by any standard currently already set in the industry. But I would think that Rockstar and Take-Two have a higher standard for this thing. Like, I wonder how much far ahead they're aiming than even what GTA 5 did.
Oh, I think it's insane. Yeah, and that's the thing is I think that literally no matter what it is, because they're coming up with their expectations based on some data. We don't know what that data is, but they have it. Like GTA 6, because of how big it is, there has to be more people than on any product probably ever in the world that are like doing market data research, understanding what they have.
Yes.
And I think the difference between them and Square Enix and all the other people that like keep fucking this all up, it's like they have this proven thing that like just checks all the boxes. Like, I don't think there's anything that's going to get in the way of the success of this game, where Final Fantasy 16 exclusive to PS5, cool, that limits the install base, whatever. GTA 6, we know where it's coming. We know how it's going to sell on the different consoles and systems, eventually getting the PC launch, all that. And then GTA Online.
We know, over the years, we know what the plan is, right? Between that and also just the releases on PC and the, even maybe they do definitive editions when we get to PS6 and Xbox, whatever it is, right? Like, GTA 6 is the start of many releases over the next decade, everything that's going to be GTA 6, right? But like, yeah, you're right that's going to lead into these repeated dips that's going to result in a lot of money.
The revenue streams that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to have, other games just simply are unable
don't have access
to compete with. And it's crazy because I do think that there is a league of their own when it comes to Grand Theft Auto Online and Fortnite, right? But Fortnite doesn't have the $70 plus retail copy factor, right? And it doesn't have a lot of these other things. Whereas GTA Online is going to have all the money-making levers of Fortnite, in addition to the last 12 years of, at that point, maybe 15 years of Grand Theft Auto Online monetization and understanding of how to deliver things that players are still paying for and happy about.
Yeah, but this is also why I come back to, I don't think GTA Online is going to be free to play. Like, I think you're going to have to pay for it based on the fact that people will buy it. It is the Call of Duty every year situation of, hey, everybody else is doing free to play. Guess what? We're getting that $70 plus whatever we're making on shark cards. I see it being all part of the same box copy as single player, but to your point, I also think there's that, I think it's a smaller chance, but there is that small chance that it is, oh yeah, you're also paying $60 to $70 to play online separately. But they're going to have to treat that as, I think at that point, we're talking about that releasing in 2027, 2028 as its own hyped up release.
Yeah, which I honestly don't think is impossible.
I don't think it's impossible either.
But they're going to want it out as soon as possible because they want the money. But then the counterpoint to that, they still have GTA 5. And it's still making money.
Still going.
I still lean back on it being in GTA 6 just for the thing of, like, I think you see those sales for GTA 6 over time come down if you don't have online as part of it.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason why you would make it all part of one thing.
What good problems for them to have.
Yeah, right?
Gerardo was cool. Says, how many publishers and this is a super chat, by the way, youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Thank you for all your support. So many watching live right now. How many publishers do you think are scrambling right now to secure dates to announce at Game Awards for next year? I wonder, it's such an interesting question. Because again, you know, love it or hate it, right? When Silk Song was like, that's our date. So many people were like, oh, fuck, we're locked in and we can't get away from it, right? Yeah. And it, you know, it didn't hurt some people, did hurt some people, yada, 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 yada. But again, this being so late in the year, where historically, for the big games, your message has always been get it out before Black Friday. Get it out before Black Friday. It's the Friday after Thanksgiving here in America, usually the 25th-ish. Putting it here, I don't know. Again, we're talking about Xbox. You said 25 years of Xbox coming up in that month. All these different games. For them, that must shake it up to a degree, but I feel like everybody else must be kind of breathing a sigh of relief, unless you fucked with your whole schedule to get away from May and you went to November thinking you'd be safe, and now you got to think about going back to May if that's possible.
Yeah, I just don't think there's many games that is the problem for. Like, as we just went through all the big ones.
I know.
And also, just, again, we're a year out from this date. Like, we're November now. We're talking about November next year. Like, that's so much time. So even talking about, like, plans for this year's TGAs, I don't think it affects anything.
Yeah, this year, no, I don't think we have to worry about that. Yeah.
Speaking of next year's TGAs, though, do you think they push forward voting? Because November 19th is such an awkward date for it. Like, we know when nominations come in for TGAs, or even when, like, I think final voting comes in. I guess nominations specifically.
They usually talk about the dates somewhere in the teens, usually.
Yeah, like, it would theoretically be before when GTA 6
I don't think they do, no.
You don't think they push
I don't think, not only do I think Rockstar doesn't care, I think Jeff cares so much about his show that I don't think he'd be like that. I think Rockstar doesn't care about getting you code early enough that judges can play ahead of time. And I think what's Jeff got to lose? See, like, it's one last year where it isn't going to be GTA down the line on every thing.
I agree on the Rockstar part. I think on the Jeff part, like,
he wants to be a part of that.
I think you want to be a part of that hype. I think having GTA 6, a game that just came out, now being like the, you know, Game of the Year nominees.
Yeah.
That does something hype for, like, people showing up and watching it.
Sure.
Chat, y'all will probably be more knowledgeable. What is a game that has been nominated for Game of the Year? Like, what is the latest release we've seen of that? Right? Because I don't know if it'll really.
Yeah, Super Smash Ultimate.
Well, no. Well, Ultimate got nominated the next year.
Oh,
I'm talking.
You're saying the other.
I'm talking about
gotcha.
The latest a game came out and got nominated that year, right? Just because I don't know if it's November 19th, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'll be a problem, really. You know, I think there's still probably a good window where people are going to be confident enough if they're playing review or whatever, their feelings on GTA 6 to nominate it, right?
Yeah, because I would think that's before. Actually, I don't know how the timeline works of, like, when final voting for Game of the Year is, right? But I would think that for maybe you build in some time for, hey, here, if you want a late nomination for a game, like, maybe put it in before here. And I think outlets for GTA 6, you make the time and space to be like, all right, does this end up in our nomination? This is priority. Like, we got to figure out if this is something that we include here.
Jumps 004 says Dragon Age Inquisition came out November 18th and won. So
okay,
Yeah. Well,
then I guess maybe it'll skate on in there and do what it needs to do.
yeah, I'm with Bless that having GTA 6 the year it comes out at the Game Awards is
The right move,
the right move, and important enough that Jeff will figure something out. But to Greg's point, it's like Jeff's show matters more to Jeff than Grand Theft Auto does, even, and like just the amount of things going and like the dates and the. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he already has the dates of the venue locked in for like the next 3 years.
Oh, for sure, yeah. But it's
right?
always gonna be that second week of December, right? That Thursday somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So again, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to it where it's like, yeah, when would reviewers get code for that? You know what I mean? In our Game Awards conversations this year, there's so many people who have come to me and been like, hey, we're giving you code so you can be briefed on this, but your actual embargo is way further out than what you would think it normally is. So that does happen. Now, again, would Rockstar do that? Absolutely not. Rockstar doesn't even give a shit, I'm sure. I'm sure they want to play ball, but if they need to, they'll give no codes out and be like, game came in so hot, we need to get it done when we get it done.
Yeah.
Autonomic says, are they messing up launching on console only when the industry is shifting towards PC? Absolutely not. They will make money hand over fist on console, and then when they want to flip on the PC version, they'll make even more money there. And then the people who bought it on console, but in that time have moved to PC, or they'll buy it on PC again and go do whatever they need to over there.
Part of my brain thinks that having people online demanding a thing is good marketing beat.
Yeah, great publicity.
Like, that's great publicity. Like, I think for how long I would go into either, a Rockstar post for years and years and see comments that are just like, Heist, where's Heist, right? Or even like transitioning out to a different franchise, looking at Skate, and how often people would ask for Skate in any EA post.
I mean, I think Silksong is the greatest example of this, right? Like, how many, I will go as far as saying 1 million people probably played that game just because so many people were talking about it. And they're like, well, I got to give this thing a shot, right? Yep. That's crazy. And like, we saw the success of that game. But yeah, you're right.
People are going to do that for online.
There are
not online, for
a handful
PC.
of games that in history I just get that spam. You know what I mean? Elden Ring, Kingdom Hearts. Like, there are very few. Skate is a great example too.
And they've done this before for Rockstar releases on PC. And I think it's going to be exacerbated here, of people being like, where's the PC? We want PC. And guess what? A couple years later, when they finally announce and release PC, that's going to be a big beat. Everybody's going to want to buy it because of that Silksong effect that Tim's talking about.
Obey No Law super chats and says, why even announce it in 2024 if they knew it wasn't going to be ready until 2 years later? This is what they do every single time. I just don't get it. I think it goes back to, first off, I'm sure there are intentions when they announce a date of, it'll be 2025, that they think they can hit it and then they can't. But I think it's also to what Tim was talking about of like, let's start prepping the stock. The stock number is going to go up and it'll also go down when we delay it, but it's going to go up, and why not keep going that up?
Because there's a big difference between, we know Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming, and we know Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming. Mm-hmm. It's like, for years, we made headlines and thumbnails with a very similar logo to what they're actually using, but it wasn't real.
Yeah.
And then it switched to a real one, and it's like, the difference sounds stupid, but the difference is stockholders can look at this and be like, okay, I'm really going to eventually make money from this. Like, this is not going to get Last of Us factioned. This game is coming out. This game is going to make money. So,
okay.
Yeah.
This has been a fun discussion. But frankly, GTA 6's delay is big news. Mm-hmm. If I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news that came again to the mom and grab shops for the day, where would I go, Bless?
You go to our last news story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Number 2, Wii News. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra has also been delayed. This got announced literally as we were sitting down here. 1943 Rise of Hydra has been delayed to an unspecified date in 2020. An unspecified date, right?
Just call it what it is.
To fully realize our vision of Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, we've made the decision to shift our release window beyond early 2026.
I will say, because I've been a doubter of this game being a real game for a long time, this delay makes me think it's real.
Not the fact that you haven't seen any gameplay.
We have seen gameplay.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. I thought we haven't seen like we haven't seen like a demo. We haven't seen like someone sit down and play it.
You guys still wouldn't believe it if they showed you that, though.
No.
I mean, I hope to believe. I want to believe.
I believe this. I want
to play Captain America. I want to be Black Panther. I love that stuff. This is what I want to do.
It's such a Black Panther video game is such. I don't know, video games is an easy thing to do, but a Black Panther game comparatively, you should be able to figure this out.
Yeah.
And I hope they're delaying it.
EA couldn't do it. EA couldn't figure it out. Now we got this one here. I forgot about this trailer. What's
up with Iron Man? Where are you, Iron Man?
In the process.
He's about to be in Saudi Arabia, helping them. He's going to be helping them out big time. All right, that's what he's going to be doing. Jarvis. Jarvis, buy me a penthouse apartment here in Saudi Arabia. It's great. I can't do a good one. Andy's gone too. He's on assignment.
We'll talk about this more tomorrow.
We'll talk about that more tomorrow. And that's your second Wii news of the day. I didn't have your wrong. I did have your wrong open. Did we get anything wrong while we did this? Got that thing. No, we didn't. We crushed it. Everybody, this has been another episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily. Remember, each and every weekday, we go live at 10 a.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, youtube.com/kindafunnygames, and podcast services around the globe to bring you the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you're joining us for the first time, like, subscribe, share, ring the bell. Consider picking up a Kinda Funny membership. Patreon.com/kindafunny, YouTube.com/kindafunnygames, Apple or Spotify. You can toss us $10. You can get all of our shows ad-free, get a daily dose of me in a podcast called Gregway, and of course, get good karma for supporting an 11-person business. We'll be back in mere hours, but until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.